What do you love about Chicago?
I think what I like about it the most is the festivals in the summertime. I really enjoy summertime shy.
You're listening to Notes from Chicago with Ashley Phillips. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the latest episode of Notes from Chicago. Today, I am so excited. We have Myesha McCaskill. She is a skating guru and the owner of Inspired by Favor. Myesha, thanks so much for joining us today.
It's an honor.
You know, it's funny. I wanted to share a little bit about how I heard about you. It was maybe it was over a year ago, so maybe like a year and a half ago. My husband sent me a link to a roller skating party because I love roller skating and I've done it since I was a little kid, and said, at Talia Hall, and he said, you have got to, this seems so cool, you've got to go to this. And so I did, and it was one of your events, and it was so cool, and it was so much fun. What do you love about skating? What does skating do for you as an individual?
I think it connects people from every walks of life. When you put your skates on, nothing else matter. But the one thing that you do have in common is roller skating, and that's one thing that I enjoy about it. You know, we can be from two different walks of life, but we come together. Nothing else to talk about. Is let's just have a good time and let's roll. And I think that that's what I love about it. I was able to meet many people from all over the world, and even in local, from different walks of life through roller skating. And I think that without that experience roller skating, we probably would have never connected. So I'm really grateful the path that roller skating has taken me, because I was able to meet some phenomenal people through roller skating.
So, Myesha, your company's name is Inspired by Favor. How did you come up with that name?
It all starts off with just inspiring people to be their best self and to walk in their truth. The favor of God inspire us to be able to inspire others. So that's kind of what inspired by favor means.
I love that so much. That's so cool. Why don't we go back to the beginning? How is roller skating something that you have always loved? Is it something that you've always done? Maybe we can start. When did you first learn to skate?
Well, I've been skating for about 32 years now. I started off in rollerblades. From rollerblades, I started off in Gurney. I'm originally from Chicago, but I lived out in Gurney for 2 years. And that's kind of where my skating journey started. My mother skated, my grandmother skated. So I have a history of family members who skated. And my home rink was Rink Chicago. I was a skate guard there for many years, worked the ticket office. So I kind of grew up in the skating rink. The old owners, Nate and Carmen, was my sorority and fraternity sister and brother, and they always would kind of like mentor me along my journey. When I went away to school, they'll like check up on me. How's college life? Are you doing what you need to do? And build a great rapport. So, it kept me, it was more of a safe haven. The rinks kept me out of trouble. Things that, after school, finish my homework or basketball practice, I'll go skating. And it kind of like, when things are going on in my mind, I'm stressed out, I'll just put on my skates. And not knowing that it was more of therapy for me, I use it as a tool and just skate it when I, go through different storms in my personal life.
Tell me, what does a skate guard do?
So the skate guard guards the floor. You make sure everyone is safe. Um, any kids fall, adults fall, you go around and help them up. You make sure everybody's going in the right direction. If somebody is trying to go in the opposite direction, you kind of guide them, make sure they go in the right direction. If someone wants to get off the floor, you help them get off the floor. So basically, you just kind of monitor the floor to keep everyone safe.
Before Inspired by Favor, is this something were you already skating or performing professionally?
I would go out of town to different cities and compete. And that's kind of how I started competing, doing like performances and things of that nature. And then when Inspired by Favor came, I focused a lot of my energy. I stopped competing and started focusing myself into more community things, as far as like performing, teaching other people how to skate, get more involved in community, and having meaning and purpose behind what I do.
Let's talk about those competitions. It sounds like you went all over the world and competed for a
Yes.
while. What was there a particular style that you were competing in, or kind of what did that look like?
I feel like the competition was more of all around skating. There wasn't really a specific style. You just how I trained on everything. So it doesn't matter what city somebody is in. I have something in my bag that I can match their energy or what they're, displaying. So I'll call myself an all around skater, even though my foundation is JB. Um, I do a lot of different things because I travel a lot of different places overseas, in the States. And I just incorporate all that in my skating. And I felt like, a lot of people is not able to travel to go different places. So I wanted to take the knowledge that I've learned and share it with the local Chicagoland area and
Mhm.
build that in my classes. And that's kind of why one of the reasons I started teaching classes.
You mentioned JB. Explain to people what that is.
So it's James Brown music James Brown music you skate to. You do different type of movement, footwork per se, the big
Mhm.
wheel, short step, long step, Godfather, certain moves, and you make routines and you do it smoothly and gracefully.
I've seen you skate. You're incredible. How long did it take you kind of to get from, that 10-year-old little girl who's rollerblading to a place where you were able to compete professionally, and skate with style, I would say. How long did it take you to develop that style and the skill as well?
I would say at least about 6 years.
Yeah.
I would say 6 years. Um, I started to be able to, I wouldn't say necessarily go into teaching, but for the most part, ready to compete, perform, ready for in that aspect.
When you came back to Chicago, you're starting Inspired by Favor. That sounded like it started. So you said in January 2021 was kind of
Mhm.
when that started up for you. That's an interesting time because kind of right in the middle of COVID.
Yes.
What was it like to start something like that during that period of time, and how is it different? How is it different now?
I think that a lot of people were trying to find different outlets, stressors to do things with because of COVID, being able to be at home. And so I think that my class kind of gave people outlets and things to do to be able just to cope with life mentally. It started at the heartbeat of COVID, and I think after it, it just took me to the next level. I think that it opened up many doors for me, being able to go overseas to teach classes from London, Canada, Barcelona,
Hmm.
getting ready to go to Cancun, Mexico next year. So
Yeah.
it opened up a lot of different doors for me. And then it just gave me purpose of why I do what I do to serve. And I think that everything that I do has some service piece to it. And I feel like, I just feel like in life, once you find your gift is what's going to make room for you. And I think that that's kind of why I found my niche.
I love that. When someone's coming into a class that you teach for the first time, let's imagine they've never skated. What should they expect?
They'll see that the Inspired by Favorite staff are very warm and welcoming. Um, and that's the first engagement that they'll get, and then they'll come in and then they'll see that everyone is kind of helpful. We're just here to assist you and help you on your skate journey, not to make you be any type of skater, just give you information of a lot of different things and allow you to choose which direction that you want to go with it. We give a lot of attention, my staff going around and make sure everybody is feeling welcome. So I think that's probably what they'll feel.
So music is a really important part of skating. What is there a song or a type of music you love the most to skate to?
When you have a mixture of music, it takes you to a different place, a different vibe. And I think that by me traveling different places, I've seen a lot of different vibes of music and things. And I think that to have a variety of things, it takes me to those places in time. So I think it's not just one set of a genre that I love. I love at least about four genres: house, Afro beats,
Mhm.
R&B music, and James Brown music to skate to.
When I was at that Thalia Hall event, there were maybe three or four DJs. How do you choose who you're going to get to spin at those events?
So I think that you have to really know who your audience is, and I feel like my audience is a diverse crowd
Hmm.
and a diverse sound. So when I tell the DJs that I choose, I want them to be able to play a mixture of music, house music, Afro beats, and a little bit of James Brown. And so I kind of give them a guidance of the not what to play, but a layout of the genre of music I want them to play.
Do you have a favorite roller skating rink in Chicago?
That's very hard because I feel like I support all of them. Okay, I will say this. I will say that I grew up at the Rink Chicago.
Yeah.
That's my home rink, and I will always, be loyal to that rink and always go skate there. But I support them all. I go skate at all the rinks, the local rinks of Chicago. But I will say that, Rink Chicago will always have a special place in my heart.
When you think about the favorite skating rink, or when you think about Rink Chicago, what about it? What is it about it that makes a great skating rink?
I think the culture of it, and all the different legends that came out of there,
Mm-hmm.
the rink owners that I have paved the way in my life, have mentored me along my life journey, and different skaters who have spoke a word of positivity in your life journey to keep you, hey, keep going, moving forward. All those different milestones within your life that makes rink special because of the people that you come across, that come across your lifespan. It's a building, it's the people that makes that building special.
You've traveled a lot.
Hmm.
You've competed in a lot of places. What city outside of Chicago do you think has like the best skating culture?
Barcelona.
Oh, tell me why.
All the overseas skaters come to that skating rink. They just come there to skate. No politics involved. It's just a purest form of roller skating. They don't even have to know you and just come up to you and want to dance with you on the skates.
Yeah.
Um, it's just a vibe.
Is it a particular rink that you're skating in at Barcelona?
It's outside, so it's a rink that they made concrete outside. A lot of skaters overseas they skate outside. They
Mhm.
don't. A lot of them don't have skating rinks. That's more of a state thing.
Were you going for a particular event or were you just going?
I did a master class inspired by my favorite team. They came down there with me, a couple of my supporters, and we did a master class for an hour and 30 minutes this year.
How often are you doing these international workshops?
I usually do maybe two a year.
Okay. And you have
Um,
you have one coming up in Cancun?
yes, I have one coming up in Cancun. I believe it's in May. So I'm excited. I've never been to Cancun, Mexico before.
Fun. I'm curious, since you have done so much international travel, when you come back from those big trips and you've been away for a while, what is the thing you kind of like cozy up to in Chicago? Like, what do you want to do when you get back? Like, what do you miss? And then you have to go do.
The culture of Chicago, the food. You don't realize how Chicago, this Chicagoland area and where you're from, is so amazing until you go somewhere else. And I think that every time I go out of the States, it makes me be very grateful of where being in Chicago,
Hmm.
and just things that you see and that you take for granted. And I think that by traveling, it has allowed me to appreciate life more
Yeah.
and in any state that you're in, to be grateful.
If people want to take a class from you, where can they find you? Where can they find your classes?
So you can find my classes through www.inspiredbyfavor.org or Facebook, Inspired by Favor social handle, or you can find it through Inspired by Favor through Instagram.
All right, Myesha, this was an amazing conversation. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I'm so excited to go skating with you again.
We love to have you.
This podcast is edited and produced by Tanisha Blakely. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Notes from Chicago on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts.